Good evening, Tallahassee. I am student meteorologist Zach Law with a brief overview of your weather. We had a very active radar out there today. We had storms roll through earlier, I heard some thunder out there, and then out to our west we have another series of storms developing that may come into play a little bit later into the evening hours. And looking at the big picture here, we have a stationary front that's been sort of sitting over the southeast for a few days, and that's finally going to start moving out of the area. And with that, cold front's going to start pushing into the area, and that's going to leave for less humid conditions and drier air coming in, so it'll be a very comfortable end of the week and into the weekend. Looking into tonight's forecast, we're going to be seeing 72 degrees here in Tallahassee with maybe those storms trying to creep in a little while, and for the most part, the region's going to be seeing scattered showers and temperatures in the low to mid 70s. And here's our 3-day forecast. We're going to see that dry air start to come in and mid to low 90s for the rest of the week. I'm going to now pass things off to Dylan.
Thank you very much, Zach. Well, as we take a look at the southeast, we can see where we got a bit of heat situated, but we have some cooler temperatures where they've been seeing a lot of rain the last couple days. Charlotte down to 62 degrees. That's feeling not like a summer-like temperature, even though we're not officially in summer yet. Still very cool for this time of year. Places like Atlanta and Charleston, too, sitting in the mid-70s right now. Here in Tallahassee and kind of in between those two fronts, we've got those mid-80s sticking around, and down into South Florida, seeing those typical patterns of those mid-80s as well. But we're going to see a pattern change as we get into the next couple of days. We do still have a lot of moisture, and you see these dark green colors indicating those high dew points. Well, they're situated where that low pressure is that Jack showed you, and we'll look at in just a second. But we have some drier conditions going to start to funnel in. You already see a little bit of a warm-up with 59 degrees in Little Rock. That's where the front is situated. So you're going to have a surge of moisture just initially, but those are going to wipe away as that front moves down eastward. And we can see in the wind speed, the front's kind of situated in this Little Rock area. It's kind of deceiving where you have these winds kind of turn to a southerly wind farther down eastward, but at the surface, you're really seeing the front down by Little Rock and Arkansas is where they're situated right now. And you can see that low pressure system over north of Tallahassee where we have these winds coming out of the east, but then you have these kind of calm conditions just north of it, and that's where that low pressure system is situated. And here's that cold front, and it's going to swing its way through like a windshield wiper, clear things out and make things more comfortable and calm and cool and just a little bit more pleasant for this time of year. But with that low pressure system bringing those cool conditions and a lot of rain, you have those flash flood watches and warnings and those flood warnings, and then the continued rainfall into the Mississippi River still causing those flood warnings that are still possible. And as we go into the next couple hours, you see that front kind of move through a little bit and start to clear things out in common conditions. And getting into tonight, you see only the rain really situated toward the eastern part and then down into South Florida is where most of the rain is staying. But then calm conditions tomorrow afternoon and even into tomorrow evening. Just nice, beautiful day. And as we get into tonight, you start to see the rain still situated there down into South Florida as well, seeing that rain. Calmer conditions, though, a little bit behind the front, seeing 59 degrees as our low in Little Rock. Charlotte getting down to 61 degrees. It's already that cold there for now. And then tomorrow, kind of calmer conditions. You see a lot more sunshines on tomorrow's forecast. We're sunshine in Little Rock at 81 degrees, but the rain really situated into South Florida. But again, that rainstorm over Tallahassee, overselling it just a bit, only a 10% chance of rain here in Tallahassee. And to give us a better look at how our rain chances are going to play out in the Tallahassee area, let's hear with Angelo.
Thanks, Dylan. So we are going to take a look at Tallahassee right now, and right now we're sitting at 81 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. We did have that line of storms that came through, and those clouds are persisting behind it, but those winds are pretty light coming out of the east-southeast at 10 miles an hour. Throughout the Big Bend region, we see some variable temperatures. Tallahassee's at 81, but Sumatra's at 92 degrees, so you can see those rain-cooled spots are a lot cooler, but some warmer temperatures to the west. Those dew points are in the mid-70s, so it's very muggy outside, very uncomfortable as you're heading outside. 75 in Tallahassee. Bainbridge just a little drier at 61. The heat index is basically what it feels like outside when you factor in that humidity with the temperature. And you can see right now it feels like 99 in Sumatra where they haven't had that rain. But where we have had that rain in Monticello, it feels like 76 degrees. So some pretty uncomfortable spots out there right now. Those winds are coming off the Gulf, which is bringing in a lot of moisture, but winds are pretty light for the most part. 10 in Tallahassee, 7 in Carabel, a calm wind at Quincy. And for your satellite, you can see that strong line of storms that move through to the east of Tallahassee We are getting a break right now, but there are some pop-up thunderstorms forming to the west that could come into play later this evening. If we zoom out, we can see that we have this stationary front across much of the southeast that's been bringing us that very wet and sticky pattern for many days now. But this cold front is going to start to move through tomorrow, and high pressure is going to build in behind it, which is going to finally give us a break with some lower humidity and some sunnier skies ahead. For the next 24 hours, you can see those storms start to clear out, but we do still have some clouds that can persist into the overnight hours with maybe a pop-up shower or storm. But tomorrow, it's looking to be a beautiful day. As you can see, we don't have much chance for rain and mostly clear skies throughout most of the Big Bend region. For tonight, you can see we have pretty good chances for rain to the east of Tallahassee, but up here in Quincy and Bainbridge, they should be pretty clear with those temperatures mostly in the 70s. And for tomorrow, we're going to heat up in the mid 80s to low 90s with Tallahassee at 90 degrees, and those rain chances persisting especially in the southern parts of the Big Bend region. For your marine forecast, we are going to get up to a high of 91 degrees with a light chop, so pretty good boating conditions and no advisories to speak of. And for your 7-day forecast, we are going to clear up with those lows or highs in the low 90s, but those rain chances are going to start to return later in the week, 40% on Monday and 50% on Tuesday, with 90s all throughout the week. Right now, I'm going to turn things over to Michael with a look at the National.
Yeah, thanks, Angela. It's been a while since we've seen some 90-degree weather here in Tallahassee, about a week or so. But out towards the national picture, you notice if you're east of the Mississippi River, a little bit unsettled and a little muggy out there with temperatures in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s. And then out towards the west, a little drier and not as hot as it's been the last few days. Out towards San Francisco, only 85 degrees. That's about 15 degrees cooler than it was early in the week. But in Phoenix, very hot, 110 degrees, but pretty used to what they're supposed to see for this time of year, so nothing really unusual. The dew point, you notice how we do have that secondary front in the Memphis area, and so we have lower dew points really behind that front. Still very muggy down towards the southeast coastline and into Florida. With that low, that coastal low, going to move up towards the northeast, so that's going to give some moisture, especially across the mid-Atlantic and the northeast going into tomorrow. And you can notice the low based on the winds. You can see a little swirl between Tallahassee and Atlanta, and you can also notice the secondary front in Memphis and in Louisville. You can see the southerly winds in Louisville, but northerly and westerly winds out towards Memphis. The satellite and radar does show you those two systems, the low down towards the southeast coastline. That's been giving the heavy rain and some training thunderstorms, especially in South Georgia and the coastal Carolinas and North Florida. And then we have the secondary front where it's really lacking moisture on the southern portion, and most of the moisture is out towards the Great Lakes and into the Midwest, and that's what we're really expecting. The secondary front is more of a reinforcer of the dry air and the much lower humidity and dew points as high pressure does build in. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the southeast, and you notice we have these thunderstorms basically moving along the same locations, especially in South Georgia and the coastal Carolinas. And Dylan did show earlier, we do have a flash flood warning for some of those places in South Georgia. Now out towards St. Louis and Illinois and up towards Chicago, that secondary cold front is giving some showers and some a flash flood warning out towards the central part of Missouri. So again, flash flooding is still a major concern. This area is a little bit saturated given how moist it's been for the spring and early summer, and then also some rain up towards the Great Lakes. Now, our FSU baseball team is in Omaha playing Arkansas Saturday afternoon. Might have to deal with some storms when you're traveling to Omaha on Friday, but the weekend's looking really good with temperatures in the low to mid 80s with only a slight chance of rain. And then out towards Pebble Beach, very hot start to the U.S. Open week, but now much cooler and more seasonable where you have that morning marine layer. And then temperatures only in the low to mid 60s, so pretty typical of what they're used to that time of year, with some breezy conditions possible going into Father's Day weekend. Next 24 hours for the rest of the country shows you how it's dry in the breast for the U.S. Open, and then that low in the southeast moves up towards the northeast, giving some showers and thunderstorms for them, and that secondary cold front really lowering the dew points for the eastern part of the country. Much needed, drier and less humid air as expected, and that low that was in the southeast really strengthens as it goes up towards New England with some lingering showers in the Great Lakes. And so for tonight, if you're in the interior part of the country, much cooler and much less humid, feels window opening kind of weather. And then for tomorrow, very nice conditions in the southeast with the very less humid 80 degrees in Atlanta. Now let's send it off to Dylan with how a humid Florida.
Yeah, it's not feeling as comfortable there as it is throughout much of the southeast. In Florida right now, it's not feeling as comfortable. You see those rain-cooled spots on the temperature map. You see some cooler spots close to Tallahassee, down south of Orlando. But again, Miami feeling like 81 degrees, seeing a lot of showers down there. Tampa feeling like 87 degrees, the warm spot on the map right now. And dew points are abundant, mid-70s, mid-70s all around. Pensacola at 69 though, and West Palm Beach as well as 69, but still feeling very soupy, gross, just not the best kind of conditions, but it's typical Florida conditions for this time of year, so it's not that out of the ordinary. And on that heat index, that's when you take the dew point temperature, the temperature it feels outside, and you get this number that tells you kind of how it feels, how bad or oppressive it is. And you're seeing where those rain-cooled areas have not been through. You see Fort Myers at 95 degrees, Tampa is 93 as well, and Pensacola at 90. So warmer there where they haven't seen a bit of rain, just to give them a bit of relief. And then as we go into the wind speed, you see this the flow out of the west into the east, and you see the sea breeze boundary as we typically see this time of year. We're going to keep saying sea breeze because it's the summer, it's Florida, and what else do you expect? But we do have that low pressure system that's brought a bit of enhanced rainfall to the northern part of the state. That's why we see this blanket of rain. And zooming into South Florida, seeing a bit of showers going into Miami-Dade and Broward and Palm Beach County. We have that severe thunderstorm warning right now going off the shore, but we have some special marine with that as well. Zooming up farther north, they did see a lot of strong storms move through Cape Canaveral earlier today, but clearing out just a bit. Some lingering rain, though, is expected, and moving up into Jacksonville, you do have some strong storms still sticking around for much of that area, and you see the strong storms coming off of Tallahassee, moving into Lake City as well as Jacksonville. And then going into the next day, well, we're going to see those showers kind of move out for the evening, but some still stick around to central Florida. And then tomorrow afternoon, well, more of the same. You have those poppy showers, those sea breeze thunderstorms sticking around for the central, southern, and not the northern part of the state. They're seeing clear conditions as that front kind of wipes things away and gives us a clean slate, and you still see all those rain showers, even moving into South Florida more intensely tomorrow evening. And tonight, still seeing some rain sticking around, something to be worried about, just be aware. And then tomorrow, you have those thunderstorms really situated into the northern part of the state, then moving out into the southern part of the state later on in the evening. But the only place in the Sunshine State with the sunshine is Pensacola. But we're not seeing sunshine right now, Zach, right?
Well, no sunshine out there today. We're looking at our current conditions and we're seeing some clouds. And in particular, those clouds are building out to our west, showing that we might be seeing some more storms coming into the area into the next couple of hours, sitting at 80 degrees, mostly cloudy right now. So looking at our temperatures around the region, 80 degrees here in Tallahassee, 81 in St. Mark's, but looking down here towards Apalachicola, they're almost around the 90s. We're seeing a 90 in Sumatra and 88 in Apalachicola, 89 in Carabel. And those dew point temperatures are a little bit warmer, 75 in Tallahassee. And as a result of these warm dew point temperatures, our heat index is feeling a little bit warmer than the actual temperatures. Heat index is roughly what the temperature feels like. So outside in Tallahassee, we're feeling like 85 degrees out here, a little bit warmer, but really particularly warmer down here around Carabel, seeing high 90s at 96 degrees feels like temperature there. And the wind speed and direction, it's starting to calm down a little bit, but for the most part, we're still seeing decent winds here in Tallahassee, and the winds seem to be pushing northward. 7 miles per hour down here in Tallahassee and down in Apalachicola. They're pushing eastward at 13 miles per hour. The radar was lighting up this afternoon, a lot of lightning as we're seeing, as we saw some of those storms try to push through. And here's that region that's sort of approaching Tallahassee, where we're seeing those cloudy skies out to our west whenever we were looking at that Campbell Stadium cam. And that's going to be pushing through in the next little bit. So if you have to go outside, be sure to bring an umbrella and try to stay indoors if possible, because it does look like there's a little bit of lightning starting to form with these showers. And looking into tonight's forecast, 72 degrees, and those spotty showers will be coming in shortly, and the winds are going to be blowing southwest 5 miles per hour. If you're going to go out to walk your dog tomorrow, it is a good day. It's 77 degrees, waking up around 9 a.m., and then we're going to get up to 91, but a cold front will be pushing through, so it won't feel as humid out there. So it should be pretty comfortable, a little bit warmer. And looking at our next 7 days, we're going to be staying in the low 90s for most of the next week, and we're going to see temperatures in the low 70s for our lows. It's going to be dry air, so little humidity out there. It's going to be very nice going into the weekend. And as always, You can always follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and watch our show every evening airing at 6 o'clock on FSU Weather. And from all of us at FSU Weather here, have a great evening tonight.